So continuing on from the last video, let's talk about one more unit-based measurement. You were probably told by your English teacher to type your term paper at Times New Roman using 12 points. So there's another measurement that you're familiar with. And if you studied typography, you have probably heard that there are 72 points in an inch, or they say approximately, because they're comparing old type blocks to a measurement of an inch. Once you get on the computer, though, 72 points is absolutely 1 inch. So just like there being 12 inches in a foot being a guarantee, there's also the guarantee that when you set up to use points on the computer, there are 72 points in 1 inch. So if I asked you how many pixels there are per inch, per the resolution video, you would say you can't answer that. So if you're talking about an image, you're definitely right. You can't answer that because it's resolution dependent. But we're in this weird place where we do indeed use pixels as a measurement. And it's come to this. 72 pixels in 1 inch, but only when measuring. And just to give you the background of where that came from, when the first monitors came out, if you measured their pixels, started counting the pixels that that monitor was capable of producing, and you counted all of them that would fit in an inch, there would be 72. So even though it's not a very logical way to go, or you could say it's an outdated way to measure things, that's still where we are today. So just like you saw in the last video, we could say we want a website area that measures 800 pixels wide by 600 pixels tall, and then when we need a 2x image in there, then we have to build an image that is 1600 pixels wide by 1200 pixels tall and have our server dish that up for high resolution monitors. And then just to explain this in a practical sense, what would happen in this example we did where we did have to bring in that image that was double size, what Muse would do when we tell it to publish this website, it's going to make a folder for our images and it's going to put this image in here at full size, and that's what will be given to high resolution monitors. It will also make for us a half size image of this, and so it makes our job fairly easy as long as we know when we're working with a program like Muse at 2x that we just need to make all of our images twice as big as what they need to be. But most people like to use a program like Photoshop and design their website before they start building it, and a lot of web designers don't use Muse. In fact, a lot of people working at a large firm would only, as a web layout person, only do that Photoshop part of it, and then they would have a coder do the rest of it. So how do you solve that issue? First of all, let me say this. I will make a video that shows laying out websites in Photoshop, and I'll show you some workarounds for that. But just in short right now, if you were providing assets to a coder of websites, you would have to provide them with a large version of the image and a small version of the image. And that's really keeping things simple, just assuming a 1x image and a 2x image. If you were working for different phones, and depending on how accurately they wanted to dish out images, you may even be providing more. But most people these days, especially in web design, are keeping it simple and just doing a 1x image and a 2x image. But hopefully you're thinking, well, there's got to be a better way. Isn't there a program or a way to work that would do this for me where I only have to provide the images at one size, and then I can use, the power of the computer to provide them for me? And yes, and to get there, what I'm first going to do is show you that program. It's called Adobe Generate, or one program, but since we're using the Creative Suite in the class, that's what we're going to use. I'll show you how that program works. As you'll see, there's still a little bit of a weakness to it, let's say, but when I get around to showing you how to lay out websites in Photoshop, I'll show you a workaround, and I'll mention it quickly in the next video too, just in case you're ready to jump ahead.